everyone. Welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord and hopefully routers that have more than the integrity of a soggy biscuit to play Dungeons & Dragons and critically fumble a lot. Because, yeah, that's been a thing. Although, hilariously, sometimes you get the absolute best critical successes when you ask the person who's worst at that particular thing. Sorry, when we did Saturday Shenanigans for the first time in, forever last week, everybody with the reasonably or insanely high intelligence scores failed it, so I asked the barbarian with the int modifier of -2, and they rolled a critical success! It was hilarious. And this is why we play D&D.
Mm-hmm. Did Rob roll that 20 on intelligence once?
Probably more than once.
I think
He's
he did it a
counted all
couple
kinds
times.
of rolls. It's just usually caused a nosebleed.
Yeah, he RP and a nosebleed are like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, as I recall, they actually carried that through to the season 3 quasi finale. Just look, this is the plan. That's actually really good, Greg. Wait, sorry, I blacked out there for a second. What was I saying?
I love Grog.
But amusingly, nobody here used int as their dump stat unless their dump stat was only a 0. I think for most everybody else it was strength, maybe. Anyway, previously, the Cupcake Coterie is kind of doing the end of their apology tour and trying to get their feet back under them because the last week or so, longer for them because they spent a week or so in Avernus, but it's been a little problematic. They were just trying to free the Protector Azamar from effective house arrest. They succeeded. Just in the long run, it ended up a somewhat more metaphysical succeeding in terms of freedom than anybody would have wanted. And it also included all but 2 of the Scourge Azamar as well. So now there are 3 Azamar total left, and only 1 Protector. None of this is good for anybody. Additionally, while they did deal with the vampire and with Jessamy, and it's probable that they now really don't have to worry about the whole blood magic being used on them at any point. Probably. We think, we hope. The, as Remy put it, giggling lunatic, some kind of alchemist, they're thinking, and a bunch of what used to be fallen Azamar and are now Aranese are off somewhere with a jury-rigged radiant energy bomb, which is in no way built as sturdily or carefully as the ones the Quick Flight Divinitives made. It's also made with the celestial spark of every single Azamar they've killed. So that's a whole bunch of thing. They don't really know what happens if it explodes. They probably don't want to know what happens if it explodes. That's something they could theoretically ask about at the Academy, because they do have an appointment at the Academy, thanks to Barnabas's girlfriend, who's basically been one of the luckiest things that's happened both to him in specific and the group at large. Because while Alice is the common sense one, she is organizing all their shit. So, after your sort of afternoon of taking a break, kind of taking you for a nice dinner, because Alice kind of died again, showing Barnabas in specific the premier fudge makers in Ambier, which did involve Arthur probably having to clean snout marks off the window, but did get Dala's work a lot more noticed, which is probably really good for her. Um, they took a teleportation circle back to the free city of Egref, city of innovation and magical. What the fuck are you doing now? And after a trolley ride, went to the Riddler Stump, their effective favorite inn, which Cherie, being a secretary, and a very good one, had already arranged for rooms for you guys. And a pretty solid knowing of exactly what everybody's sleeping arrangements are going to be, and organizing the space accordingly. It does mean that Barnabas actually gets because normally Barnabas has gone to the attic because he's been, on his own. Now he gets one of the actual rooms, although Polly does have to adjust the size of the bed involved, because that's a lot of Minotaur in it.
And he's incredibly grateful for every single bit of work being done.
Well, to be fair, it's not all that much, because she has this furniture that starts out looking like dollhouse furniture, and she adjusts its size as needed. It's like it's got a fully functional adjustable enlarge reduce spell on it. So it starts as dollhouse furniture. You get to your regular double. No, and then cranks it up to queen, and that's probably okay. Yeah, to be fair, I don't think even the Izzet League have come up with something so interesting and yet so benign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if I recall, it's all the infrastructure, so they're all responsible for your plumbing and shit, but your furniture? That's not our job.
Yeah.
Pulls lever, something just detonates in the background.
You get Polly looking at the somewhat bemused look on Barnabas' face and going, "We innovate with everything. We don't just make things go boom."
That's really impressive. It really is.
We also currently have adjustable walls for those of you who are going to be in the attics. But these two, gesturing at Remy and Alice, who I imagine neither of them look particularly happy for a variety of reasons, are probably going to need an actual room. So we are going to put a wall so that you can have your usual cuddle pile. And
Thank you.
you have your armchair, and you will have a roomish space. Looking at Ava. I've been told who was coming. I organized.
I appreciate it.
And yeah. Effectively, at this point, anybody who wants to stay up for a last minute, what are we going to do with ourselves tomorrow, can. Alice will not be present for it because she really just needs to get some sleep. I'm taking it as a no all the way around. Well, I mean, Rylas can take his half. Rylan can take their half-time trance whenever. So, I mean, theoretically, they can keep Polly company as she spends last couple of hours on. By this point, it is the beginning of a new scarf.
No.
Rylan is informed by Polly in the midst of this that I start a scarf every year. Gestures to a fairly large pile of scarf in a variety of shades of yellow. This is you can tell by the size of the pile this is going to be a very long scarf. That was last year's.
That is impressive work to do in an entire year.
Oh, I wait for customers, and most of you are Very good about tidying up after yourselves.
Have a lot of time on your hands then.
Well, there is also the cats. Yeah, by this point, Rylan has been more or less covered by elderly cats. Just being like, you are bed. And the ferret is kind of going, what are these? Oh, Lord. There is also a scuffle upstairs as the cuddle pile is kind of interrupted by a bunch of elderly cats looking at Michigan like, what the hell is this?
Oh no.
And Michigan doing the, are they like that big one that tried to bat me? So you can see the kind of mantling, and the other cat's kind of
Looking like so Michigan's just afraid these are all Noop.
kind of, yeah. There was a start of, are these friends? No, they're not.
Yeah. Michigan.
No,
Not
currently
all of them.
Michigan's got out on the floor going like, and the cats are kind of prowling around him like, what the hell are
You're
you?
not all Noop, but don't aggravate them.
Adorable! From what you can tell, that means I'm cute. Why don't they like me?
Oh.
Because they haven't properly met you yet. Give it a little bit of time. They'll either get used to you or just leave whenever you're here.
Flitty from Ryland's scarf is like, there's a scuffling. I'm gonna go see what's going on. So you guys get Flitty turning up. Oh, are the cats not liking the Michigan?
They're still trying. I think they're still trying to figure Michigan out because there's enough feather there to confuse them.
Probably also the talons. But I got talons and they're okay with me. Look, holds out little dragon fist, and one of the cats, who was the one who had originally sort of reaches tentatively out and teeny tiny dragon fist bump. Boop. I don't think Clarity was there for that one. That one was just hilarious. You see, you gotta reach out for him and wait. I don't know if the Michigan understands me. Well, no, there's nothing in there but feathers, and is there food? Okay. Flies back around. I tried!
You did your best, and that's the part that counts.
I'm just like keeping an eye on Michigan's interactions, just to
Well,
try and preemptively stop any ridiculousness before it starts.
Well, after a little while, you basically figured out they're all doing that tentative, I'm getting a bit close to you and now I'm moving away. Are you trying to hit me? No, not yet. Okay, I will move towards reach, bet. Zoom. But not too far.
See, Michigan, this is normal. They take a while, but they'll get used to it.
Oh no, Michigan is doing it too.
I'm just surprised you haven't realized you're doing it.
There's a reproachful look. Again, insight is probably along the lines of, well, the dragon said to do this. So apparently did understand Flitty, just didn't have the words to reply.
No wonder you're the Omen Griffin. You're both. Somehow, you've managed to hit that same weird in-between space that I sometimes do. plenty smart enough to get it. Somehow ridiculous enough to not.
What is Clarity doing while Hazel is having this one-sided conversation with her omen gremlin?
Just writing in her notebook. Just observing.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna go on for a while, so I'm pretty sure they have more stamina than you do right now. Come on, it was a day. It's been a week. Hell, it's been a couple of weeks for you guys. Yes. So night happens. Polly eventually carefully sets aside her knitting. Apparently, the cats know that the one thing they don't touch is the knitting. You've never seen cats so disinterested in yarn balls in your life. Of course, that does also mean Rylan is conscious and moving around downstairs when it's time for Polly to feed them. I mean, they're fed relatively well. It's kind of Of course, Rylan is not familiar with butchers, so not very familiar with the general tips and ears you can generally get as sausage meat. But basically, the various entrails from small game chopped up, they're equivalent to wet food. Just plunk, 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 and for the most part, cats are just kind of near. A few are not, however. And we'll find out where those are in a bit. Barnabas is a cop. Craters when safe, but when something changes, it's from 0 to is there coffee in 0.5 seconds. Which is why he's awake when Cherie kind of gets up. Morning. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to wake you, but Polly tends to go down to the local bakery for breakfast for her charges, and because obviously cooking for you all is a bit much for... So I thought I would let her know my intentions and then nip off to the market for the fixings. I don't think I've ever told you about this one, but maybe they have that kind of thing in Ravnica. Looking at a sort of a potato pancake sort of a
Oh yes, they do.
Well, mine are kind of about the size of regular pancakes, and I top them with a sort of a fried bacon and onion sort of a situation.
Well, yeah. Sorry, that was rather evocative. Would you like some help going to the market with it? I'd be happy to join you.
I was going to ask if you wanted to come or if you wanted to sleep in. It has been a little bit for you all. Plus, I did sort of accidentally sock you in the everything with the arcane fist. I do apologize about that, by the way.
No, quite all right. And now I'm up. I'd be happy to come with you.
Right? You probably want to do that in trousers, however. As much as I appreciate the view, I don't think the rest of Egref would feel the same. Besides, they shouldn't be expected to admire what they can't have. As far as getting dressed.
Barnabas is just laughing his ass off while getting dressed.
Yeah, so these two are Rylan. There's these two going downstairs, and Cherie takes Polly aside. So obviously something's happening, mostly because Barnabas is wearing his "oh, there are going to be things I really approve of soon" expression.
Where are you two off to?
That's on you, because Cherie's checking on Polly's kitchen facilities.
I'm going with Cherie to the market. She's got plans to make some potato-based deliciousness for this morning. What?
No, I think that's actually
Okay.
they frozen.
He froze.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we missed that. You kind of froze.
Where are you two off to?
No, we got that part. We got to Barnabas saying thing about Cherie is going to be making potato-based deliciousness. And you froze in that head tilt kind of way that was like we were trying to figure out which of those words you didn't understand, and then I realized you weren't blinking. So
Yeah, Wi-Fi broke for a second, but we're good
Yeah.
now.
It's Wi-Fi. It do be that way.
Well, that certainly sounds exciting.
I thought so. I was already awake, and that got me really up and awake, and more than happy to help in any way I can, even if it's just with the heavy lifting, if any.
Sounds
I
like a
will be-
delightful little morning.
Yep. I will be a pack mule as much as necessary for good food. That's for damn sure.
Cherie comes out and goes, I have been directed to. This is going to be very interesting for you, Barnabas. I'm not sure how many of the Agreffian supermarkets you have seen. None.
Supermarket?
Oh, take the butchers, the grocers, the fruit vegetable stalls at markets, the bakers, and
Mhm.
everything else, plus various bits of Agref being Agref about food, and put them all
Mhm.
together in a big building.
This I'm gonna need to see.
Oh, Rylan, would you like to accompany? It might be a little much, but
You know, if you guys aren't the ones dragging me to one of these, I'm sure Hazel will be. and so I'd and so I'd rather experience it without the crazy in my ear.
Well.
I'm sure Hazel must have seen one of these, so I don't feel bad about depriving her because I clearly haven't. Off we go. Yeah, thankfully it's not as bad as a Target. This is a residential area, so they don't have a Target kind of thing, but like, I don't know, Kroger's or something. I don't know what your local supermarkets are. It's been a very long time since I've been in North America at all, so
Mhm.
Kroger's just feels like one I know. I think you have safe. I think you have Safeways.
Yeah. It's regional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was thinking because I'm pretty sure I remembered a Safeway on the West Coast.
Mhm.
Safeway. I don't know about Safeway in the West Coast, but
Yeah, I only know
thought-
I only know Kroger because of my time in Michigan, but the local equivalent is Tops or Wegmans, but they're fancier.
To be fair, this is a reasonable area, so it's probably a little more like Legman's. For me, it'd be something more along the Waitrose, Marks and Spencer's line than something like Tesco's or whatever.
Mhm.
It's a nice, moderately fancy grocery store, but it's still it's got breakfast cereal, American type breakfast cereal. The things with the marshmallows and the like in it. They have toaster pastries. You've seen Hazel handing those out. Now you know where she got them.
Mm-hmm.
They have interesting. They have juices that were clearly squeezed from actual fruit. They have some that are in colors that were not intended by man.
I'm sorry. Soy milk. What? But
Some-
that's a plant, right?
Yes, some people can't tolerate dairy, so
No, I.
soybeans
Mm-hmm.
produce a milk-ish concoction when appropriately treated.
Okay.
Like-
just
Like almonds, and actually, I prefer oat milk generally speaking if I'm not having regular. And
that's-
she'll point along because you've literally got the soy milk, the oat milk, the cashew milk, the almond milk, on and on down the.
Okay, I was a little confused because I see the word, milk, and I have connotations of where and how that's made, and soy doesn't have those.
Yes, but we haven't gone quite so far in truth in advertising that we can't call it that just because it did not come from the udder of an animal.
All right, fair enough. But it's egg ref. I can't rule anything out.
No, that's entirely true. To be fair, the only thing you really want to avoid is the processed cheese. No, we don't know what process they use, and we don't want to know.
Okay. All right. That I'll sleep better not. I just know I'll sleep better not knowing what that is.
Are you coping all right, Rylan?
Juice is too blue.
Yes, probably.
Nothing in nature is this blue.
Wait a minute. How? I don't want to know. I'll sleep better not knowing how they got that shade of blue in juice. Like, I've seen blueberry juice. It ain't
Blueberry juice is purple.
right. This stuff glows. What the?
Yes, they found the Gatorade.
They found the apparently actually glowing Gatorade because Egref decided to dial it up a notch.
Well, to
No,
be
not-
fair,
not
they
necessarily.
it's not necessarily glowing. I'm letting them be hyperbolic.
Mhm.
And
Let's face it, like, the
Cherie's
type
gonna
of
let them
blue-
be hyperbolic.
The type of blue that you'll see in your blue Gatorades or whatever have you is only really exists in poisonous frogs and butterflies.
And in certain octopi, but then there's also this level of orange.
Right.
To be
That's-
fair, we've seen that color in various fruits. I certainly have. But that shade,
True.
that's purple. Let's face it, that is purple. That is
Yeah, it's coming through the camera as purple. On my end, it's
well, no,
Mine is
aggressively
blue.
blue.
What?
it's a
Black
deep
sort of bluish purple.
it's a deep indigo. Sorry, my dad mixed paint for those snap buttons. I get really pernickety about shades.
Meanwhile, when I was working at Sears, I was asked at one point, so what color dress was the bride wearing? And I stared at her and go, white. Darlene, you've seen me at the paint. I can't tell you the difference between eggshell or whatever else. You put a gun to my head.
It's fantastic for me because I'm picky about shades and my mum's blue-green colorblind.
Oh,
That's always fun. It's green. No, it's not, Mum. It's green. No, it really isn't, Mum. You know you can't tell the difference anyway. By and large, it's usually turquoise. Either way, it's not her color. Anyway, so after all that happens, you do get to the things that were apparently created by human hands, or grown in the ground like sensible things. But there is a thing that's probably a nice innovation for Barnabas: shopping carts. So Barnabas doesn't have to become a pack mule until they pay for everything.
well, this is just civilized.
For smaller shopping, they have baskets.
Nice.
And yeah, it's potatoes, onions. They actually go down the specialty food aisle, and there's that cheese you generally find in your pierogies and things. She picks up some of that. I can generally make a further bit of the topping with that, so I thought it might be appreciated.
Oh, very much so.
So extra bread for Polly so that she can have some for toast. Actually picks up various bits of fruit. I mean, she's got a strength 4 Minotaur as a pack mule going back. She's not holding back at this stage.
Oh, no.
And, actually asks for Barnabas's opinion on the bacon. Because they're smoked in various ways. And I would generally go for the ones you have to slice yourself, and there's a big slab of shrieky bacon. And then you can I mean, particularly for this, because I'm making it as a potato pancake topping, so
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
this way I can slice some as just for frying, and the rest can be... Yeah, there is an unfortunate thing. There's a couple of different kinds of maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more to the point, when you look closer, and for Rylan, this is probably also an abomination. There's maple syrup, and there's maple
no.
flavor syrup.
Why are these two different things?
Because one takes down the bottle of the maple flavored syrup is mostly corn syrup with maple extract.
That's not.
It is
Swear
syrup.
that crap.
It is syrup, and it is maple flavored. But they're not actually calling it maple syrup, so that's okay. Technically. I wouldn't use
mean-
it.
I guess points for honesty.
I guess? Maybe?
I think it's for those who don't want to waste the good stuff if they're attempting an experiment recipe.
Yeah, I'm assuming it out of character. I'm assuming it's the significant cheaper as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
I wouldn't buy it.
I guess I
but,
can see that.
but yeah, again, they experiment here. And sometimes experiments don't work out quite right. And which would you rather spend if you're experimenting on maple dishes? That or that?
Okay.
Mm,
Especially if you're a student.
Mm.
Our students
Oh.
actually cook in the
Mm.
student kitchens, at least around here. Then
Okay.
grab some of the
All right.
maple syrup. And eventually done. Cherie pays, does not pay any attention to offers for you guys to take any of it, because she be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does hand Barnabas every single one of the bags.
Of course. Look, Barnabas might as well have one of those sandwich board, like the end is nigh signs from like old timey cartoons, but have it say basically, "We'll accept movement penalties for food."
Not that I've ever really enforced that over much anyway, but...
Right.
And yeah, come back. Anybody who would like to help, I could use help peeling things. I would not want to oblige Polly. Of course, the cats...
Yeah.
Awake is
The cats-
everyone by now?
No, not yet. I'm getting to you.
I'd be happy to.
yeah?
Yeah,
I'd love to help.
the cats are looking interested in the direction of the bacon and the cheese. But thankfully, they also know to stay off the counters. Polly is cheerfully slicing some of the bread for toast for later and bringing out the preserves. And because it's food, it's Hazel that wakes up next with the smell of frying potatoes and bacon. And basically, you guys are weighted down by like half a dozen cats and Michigan all sleeping in this big lump directly on top of you. So it's like you try to sit up and you can't because cats everywhere.
Blanket.
Oh.
And of course, Clarity's probably about like a quarter awake, but I know her.
Darling, babe, 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 babe.
What? What?
Can you
This is
move?
how. No, I don't want to.
Why?
Why? Those cats. They have a right to be comfortable.
Oh, so you did notice the volume.
I mean, that's why we come here, right? I assumed that's why we come here.
Fair point. This is a lot more than last time, though. Also, I smell breakfast.
I'm seeing Clarity going, I don't smell coffee yet, so I'm staying in bed.
Yep. She
was thinking
is
the same.
not moving. There's cats, and it's cozy, and she wants to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm trying to sort of wiggle free, but I'm not sure if it's working.
yeah, you're gonna make me an athletics check for that one.
This I actually have a bonus for.
Yeah, it takes a while, and there's the occasional complaint from Cat and sleepily from Clarity, but you are eventually free, and these three downstairs hear thwomp. Because while you can wiggle out of the, you can't get your feet under you, so it's wiggle, 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 thump. And Michigan kind of raises head, ears, sort of going.
Oh,
You alright?
I've been hit with worse and larger. I think I'm fine.
Okay. Good night.
Just pull myself up, scritch Michigan, smooch Clarity a little, and fucking just yeet down
I'm-
the stairs.
Okay, I'm handing a fate this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're not purely naked, but you did not mention at any point putting clothing on.
Yeah, I'm just in skivvies at this point.
Yeah, and given that the hand of fate was not great, but not terrible, you are in underpants. Bra, not so much. They're not comfortable to sleep in.
Oh no.
So you bounce down the stairs, skid into the kitchen like, there's food cooking, it smells good, who needs help, and there's Hazel.
I'm hoping the hair got in the way.
Your hair is not that long.
Oh no.
Hazel, I think you're forgetting something.
Island is too
How long
focused on
before you
feeling
fully start
properly.
You're insightful. To be fair, Cherie's focusing on the cooking, and Rylan is finishing up the peeling and the chopping. So it's really only Barnabas who's actually looking at you right now. I mean, you might have heard Polly going, but you ran past too fast.
Barnabas very quickly steps so that, turns around, so he's blocking any view of her, and yeah, you might want to go back upstairs.
Just trying to retain some level of, quote, modesty. Gonna go back upstairs and put clothes on proper.
Yeah, it's sort of a crossing the arms in front of you.
Murph. Grumble, grumble.
By this point, Ava is awake, and
Yeah,
yeah,
the Norwegian in my face. Like
Well-
Joe does.
but to be fair, the cats that aren't there have been having breakfast, but it's more you've been listening to the thump, the thump, the thump. Thankfully, when you look out the door to your makeshift room, Hazel, you see Hazel's back as she walks into their own space, but not what she was not wearing. But you do smell breakfast, so.
Grump.
Interesting.
To be fair,
Yes, happily grumbles.
Remy has heard the same thing. Alice has just mostly been head back into pillow. She's had quite enough.
As Hazel comes back in, Clarity's gonna be like, "You might want to cover yourself."
offering a cat for this purpose. I'm just going to put clothes back on. I'm just digging through bags, alternating between bag of holding and normal bags for
You can
getting
find
my stuff
you can
together.
find clothes easily enough. It's just that you literally sped out of the room without mentioning it.
Yeah, before I processed. Thank you. That was fucking comic gold.
That's hilarious.
You can tell people who've never had to wear a bra by them thinking you could comfortably sleep in one.
No.
Yeah, I have no idea what would have been like over top, if anything at all.
I mean, just a shirt, so there'd be, but definitely not anything that holds things in place.
Yeah.
Because that's not what you want when you're trying to sleep. Believe me. Actually, believe us.
Everyone who's had to wear them here.
Yep, would never wear one to sleep if I had any choice in the matter. Anyway, so yeah, eventually Hazel does come back downstairs. Ava, I'm assuming, follows at some point. Clarity is enjoying being lounged upon by Cat. And Remy and Alice apparently... Remy's a little more awake than Alice is bothering to be right now, but still is apparently not all that keen to move.
Yep.
But, yeah, Ava and Hazel wind up coming downstairs approximately the same time to see more breakfast than you normally have at the Riddler's Stump in process in a fairly small kitchen. I mean, it's pretty clear, at least in part, why Polly doesn't make full meals for guests, if for no other reason than, she's a bit elderly, there's a lot of you, and the kitchen's kind of small. Well, particularly for those who are not halfling-sized. Barnabas is having a lot of fun. Kind of having to hunch the neck a little. Just a little, but... I mean, horns.
Mm-hmm.
I see
Still a lot of fun.
Hijacked.
Well, I thought, solid breakfast. People have been snacked upon by vampire spawn.
Yeah, point taken. Get more... What was it that they said was in blood?
Iron.
Yes, thank you. Look, I may have had the training, it doesn't always stick.
Honestly, I'm just surprised that anyone in Baronsphere studied that level of the contents of blood. A lot of people I've encountered from your neck of the woods didn't know that. Then again, I suppose you were trained by people who were originally from Ecuador, so...
Little bit, yeah, plus Mount Palor... I guess after a certain point they just made assumptions based on how it tasted.
If they were going to make an assumption based on how it tasted, they'd say it was full of copper, which would be blue.
Mm.
Anyhow, we are making potato pancakes, topped with fried onions and bacon.
Praise be, though.
That sounds amazing.
Has anyone started coffee?
Not yet, we're waiting until breakfast is just about done so that the smell will wake the last stragglers.
That's actually brilliant.
Well, of course. Little grin over her shoulder and goes back to, because these are proper cake pan-sized potato pancakes, and
That is... the right massive.
well, yes, you get a couple of those, topped with this, another frying pan with frying chunks of bacon and onion, a little bit of garlic. There's also that cheese that's... You all haven't tried pierogies yet, probably, have you? I really must take you to the spot I took Barnabas that time. But we've whipped that with a little bit of sour cream, some chives, some garlic, and some more onions. That can also be dolloped on top, kind of like sour cream. And for those who aren't in the mood, we're doing... I believe they call it Belarus toast, but I'm not sure why. They didn't invent it, but never mind. Because, yeah, she got French toast going, and Polly is like, that is a lot going on in my kitchen. And yeah, you've got the last 6 cats in Michigan. Them quietly thumping down the stairs in their elderly geriatric way. Michigan just glide. And Michigan speaks for them all when he says, delicious?
You're not wrong, but hang on. We have to wait.
Delicious.
Oh, trust me, you'll get more than enough. We're making sure of that.
And Polly is, Michigan, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It takes out, it occurs to me Barnabas and Ryland also will not have seen cling film, saran wrap. But there is a bowl covered with it, and you think it's a really interestingly shaped glass until she pulls it off and it's like cloth or something.
Oh
And it's,
man.
and it's full of the same thing she was feeding the cats, the tips and ears and entrails. And you've all had yours. Michigan, come. Delicious. Boing. And yeah, the other cats aren't getting anywhere near that when the wings come out.
Yeah, see? Told you, Michigan. Told you.
He's still going to want everything on our plates. You know that.
Yeah.
But at least that keeps him out of my cooking, so thank you.
It's got to be interesting watching this thing eat because it's completely different mouth bits from.
Yeah, but managing all the same. Meanwhile, Cherie is now starting the coffee. So the last 3 of you are beginning to smell. Quality coffee is made by an Amberian. LSA still really does not give a shit.
Clarity's starting to get out of bed because
The cats are
basically
gone
there's no
anyway.
more cats. Yeah. So
LSA does
gets stressed.
LSA does kind of nudge Remy a little bit. You should at least eat something. I will be down eventually.
Remy's stomach will rumble.
Go.
Yep, she will kiss Elsa and untangle.
It just won't. Basically now on front with the wings kind of pulled up a bit, so it's just entirely cocooned by feather at this point. I mean, the food smells nice, but sleep she simply just has not had. So, so yeah, with the addition of coffee to the lovely smells, these two come back down, and Cherie is handing Barnabas, Rylan, and Hazel plates to bring out to the table.
Oh, look. Who escaped their respective piles of cuddles, cats, and other things.
The cats left.
No.
They left me.
To be fair, the cats are watching the bacon go by.
That's
Also,
fair.
No.
She's kind of walking like a little kid, just sort of like got fists and rubbing her eyes.
Oh.
While Cherie is handing, plate for Barnabas to take out, plate for Hazel to take out, plate. She doesn't even seem to be looking, but immediately just hands a mug of coffee to Clarity.
Thank you. Plop.
Basically dumps plates and cutlery in front of Ava. Would you mind laying the table?
Excellent.
And it's going to take a minute, to be fair, because you haven't really set tables before, but you remember watching it done at Hearth Home, so you're like, I can do this. I can do this. There's fewer forks. That's okay.
Right. Yeah, because we probably have like 4 different ones or something.
Yep. Whereas here, you have fork, knife. That's pretty much it at this point. And yeah, the coffee makes the rounds, tea for those who want it, and yeah, you have potato pancakes, this sort of soft, cheesy kind of thing, fried bacon and onions, French toast, and regular bacon, and fruit salad.
It's amazing.
Well, again, people have been snacks for vampires. We need to build people's strength up. And we are missing someone.
I'm guessing she's still sleeping.
Fair enough.
I have by now generated a farm girl tier plate.
Thankfully, there is enough for various people to have farm girl tier plates, including the one that is neither farmer nor girl.
The one that goes beyond even that, because Barnabas is a food hoover.
Yeah. In all fairness, you probably have better version of this with Anbeer ingredients, but it's still pretty good. You guys might have been getting slightly spoiled.
Oh, no doubt they were getting something spoiled. There's a when the interdimensional refugee goes, I can see myself staying here. There's something going on.
Of course, I can also see Rylan still fuming slightly over the concept of maple-flavored syrup. Still.
Rylan, are you okay?
If it's not maple, why would you call it that?
Wait, what? Okay,
So-
elaborate now.
All right. Have you seen what they call a supermarket around here yet?
Yes.
All right.
So
So
my assumption was correct from this morning.
yeah. So we had stumbled across when getting stuff with their selection of syrups, including maple syrup and something called maple flavored syrup, which bothered the both of us, Rylan more than me.
Because it's
So here's the
not.
question: Did I buy any of this in the last spree?
No. Because maple syrup you have better at home.
See, I think I get why they do that, but we get
Look.
better at home, so I don't.
No,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And I understand it can have a purpose, and it's also quite cheaper, which I can see that being useful. But still, it's offensive at just a gut level.
Fucking call it something else.
It tastes like maple, therefore it's maple flavored, and it is a syrup.
Yeah, see, basic logic right there.
I know it's offensive. I also find it offensive.
So
I mean, look, Rylan,
It's for students who don't know any better.
and it also, I'm assuming, there's experimental drinks in some of the places around here, because I remember Basil Cell.
Mhm.
And they're not going to purchase that much actual maple.
There was a juice that was too blue to exist in there. I don't want to know what the experimental
I'm
drinks
going to the back
are.
because I think I still have a Gatorade.
Well, but to be fair, you didn't get those in the supermarkets. You bought those when you went to the news agents, where you got the magazines, and that's where you saw all the
Mhm.
Gatorade. So yeah,
Wait. I produced one.
Of course she has that.
Of course you fucking have one of them.
Taste
Clarity
that bad.
perked up at the blue juice.
And yeah,
That's bluer than-
you're looking at effectively blue raspberry Gatorade.
You
You've been holding out to me.
In all fairness, it tastes tart and it tastes quite nice, but it doesn't really taste like raspberry. You don't know what it tastes like?
Wait, is it the stuff that actually tastes like blue?
Yeah.
Okay, given this is Egref, and Egref seems to run on Japan food logic, it would make sense that the flavor is just blue, because there is a flavor just labeled blue.
In all fairness, they did try to make raspberry. It's just that they could not synthetically produce raspberry, so it turned into blue. But they're still labeling it as raspberry because, to be fair, when you look at the label, because Clarity would look at the label, there's a little one of those prize ribbons, and in very small letters, "We tried."
Oh, I suppose that's why they spell it with a Z instead of an S.
Hold on. And I'm digging through for one of the other varieties. Which bizarre-ass color did I find?
You found a sort of something that's somewhere between bright peach and electric orange, and it appears to be called papaya passion. And there is another one of those "we tried" labels.
Okay, Rylan. You are trying this.
Oh, God.
And I'm just setting this in front of Rylan.
Is Rylan trying it? Because Rylan can say no.
Do I have a D20 on hand? I kind of need to hand a fate myself.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I found one. We're fine.
Okay. But to be fair, you don't know what the good outcome or the bad outcome is. So how can you roll the hand of fate for that?
It's fair.
For you, it would be more flipping a coin. Yes, Rylan tries it. Tails, Rylan doesn't. You could go odds or evens with your D20 for that.
Oh, that's a good point. Hazel, you've given me some weird things before. I don't entirely know. Rylan drinks the equivalent of like a shot of it.
It tastes tart and kind of sweet, and beyond that, you're kind of lost because you do know vaguely what a papaya tastes like. This doesn't taste like a papaya. This doesn't taste like a fruit. This tastes like faintly pink orange. It's not bad, it's just not fruit.
No. Just, that's not a fruit.
Well, you tried, and that's what counts. And I'm pointing at the little the little label. I'm keeping this one.
Why do I see Remy watching the usual breakfast shenanigans and thinking Alice had the right idea?
No, that's exactly what she said.
Gonna drink her coffee.
Let's just be glad that Hazel isn't foisting anything on Remy. Hazel's int score is not that low.
And the wisdom score is high enough to understand, yeah, I'll leave that shenaniganry to Alice, say. Yeah, to my breakfast has now added the Gatorade.
Yeah, the slightly pinkish orange.
It doesn't taste like anything home pressed, but I don't care. This stuff, something about it just reboots faster.
In fairness to the people of Egref, what they lack in flavor and ingredients, they make up for in interesting effects. That isn't specifically juice, it's... They call it a sports drink because they don't really have adventure drink as a thing. It's different from energy drink, which is something entirely different.
I think someone said when I was buying these, they called them like a potion of hydration.
Effectively, but it's more than just water. There's things that are mixed in with the water of you that come out when you sweat that need replenishing if you're going to move a lot effectively. That's what those replace.
Explains a lot.
Energy drinks have about twice the caffeine as the average cup of coffee in something that does unfortunately taste like little more than vaguely sweetened disinfectant.
Yeah, see, now I have to find those.
No, you don't.
No, you
No,
really
you
don't.
don't.
Oh, sorry,
No.
I tell a lie. Vaguely ginger flavored sweetened disinfectant.
Yeah, but you are hyper in general by default. Adding a stronger version of caffeine.
Oh
into
no, it's
that-
not a stronger version of caffeine, it's just more caffeine pressed into
Right.
less liquid.
For
Double the dose of caffeine.
emergencies.
There is no emergency that could be aided by you vibrating at twice the normal speed.
Not necessarily for me.
Ah,
Everyone else here handles it better than I do.
fair enough.
To be fair,
Egraph.
it doesn't do
We're
it.
all about coulda,
Could've, but
not
never about
shoulda.
should've. To be honest, it's very, very helpful for university students. How do you think they get through their finals?
Mm.
I'm going to find some.
I don't think that's a good idea.
We're all adults. Could you all stop whispering?
Okay, fair enough.
If you're going to buy it, it's your money. You can do what you want. The consequences, however, are also yours. You've just got used to the fact that you've got people around you who are kind enough to shield you from the worst of them. Please be advised that will not be the case forever. And Egref jails do not feed you remotely as well as Ambient jails do.
Not going
My-
to go to jail, probably. I probably just will write more notes and read more things.
You also need sleep occasionally.
Yes, it won't keep you going indefinitely. And the
There's
more
only
you,
so much.
and the more you lean
that-
on it, the harder you crash later.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really drink coffee, but I seem to remember once you've had a lot, the sort of after effect, you're even more tired than before, or something.
Also, if you take in too much caffeine at once, you start getting jittery. Imagine what would happen if you couldn't read your own notes because your hand kept shaking.
That's happened.
Still gonna
I've
get
had a
us
lot
set
of
for
coffee.
emergencies, though.
Yes, but this is basically the default state with that much of that kind of caffeine drink.
Babe,
Hmm?
you'll get a chance to try it at least once. I can guarantee that much.
Okay.
When you have more in the way of reading to do than note taking.
Because I'm 100% getting some. For that exact reason.
Yeah.
Sure, he kind of looks at Barnabas and going, I really, and Alice, say you said is your common sense.
Mm-hmm.
She desperately deserves this break. Poor thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what's worse, the settlement of Vernus or having to write herd on you lot. And she does it so well. You best be careful, or the governors will ask her to be a part of their diplomatic corps.
I mean, that'd be a
Doubt
great
she's
way for her.
accept that, but it might.
Yeah. It wouldn't be good for us, but it might be better for her. Well, no, who am I kidding? It would be better for her.
I don't know entirely about that.
I don't really see her wanting to do that, though.
More to the point, she's the last protector.
Mm.
And if she wasn't permitted to protect, she's depressed enough already.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when
Nothing of the.
maybe when you've saved the world 1,000 times, or however many times it requires saving, Remy can open up a swordsman's college, and Alice can travel the country on diplomatic missions and potentially slap people upside the head when they're being ridiculous.
Mm.
We'll see.
Sorry, I do realize it did occur to me all of a sudden that yes, I would be dragging your wife away from you for extended periods of time. And you've worked very, very hard to prevent that, so that's probably not the sort of thing I should be suggesting.
No. It's a fine suggestion.
Yes, but to be fair, I should be making it to her. And starts kind of putting together a plate that's probably more than she would generally eat and shoves it in a Remyward direction. I know you haven't finished yours yet, and you can in a minute, but at least bring the girl breakfast in bed. Puts cutlery
I'll
down
finish
on the
that
edge of
if
the
you
plate.
like.
That is a good idea.
It should come from the wife, let's be fair.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
gather that up.
kind of Remy's responsibility in this context.
You could... Well, we're
Yeah,
probably
well-
going to be doing dinner before we... No, we're going to be doing dinner with Professor August. As I recall, we were going to take her out to dinner to make sure she eats something. So you can suggest someplace Alice might like for when we go. If you're that keen on taking care of her. How's that, Ava?
Um,
I am such a secretary. And yeah, you've still got kind of feather cocoon, but when Remy sets the plate down, it's kind of, thanks. Woof.
Yeah, all right, then just sit down, munch on a
And
Pieces of
no,
something.
her plate's back downstairs.
or steal a plate piece off Alice.
Uncurls from the wing cocoon a bit and going, isn't the rest of your breakfast downstairs? I heard your stomach, you know.
Yeah, I had most of it.
Do I have to get dressed and drag your ass back downstairs so you can finish your damn breakfast?
Yes, but you can take your time and finish your breakfast first.
Yours is going to get cold. And because she honestly does not give a shit who sees her unclothed, gets up, grabs a hold of Remy. March. Plunks her back in the chair. I'll be back down when I've eaten something.
Okay.
And, like, to be fair, her hair covers an awful lot. It's a very,
And then
very
the
much...
wings.
Yeah, it's very much a Lady Godiva
Invisible
kind of a
jelly.
thing.
Combined with just the sheer quantity of feathers.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the feather's mostly at the back, but all that hair sort of spilling down the front. You're really not seeing anything, but even if you could, she wouldn't care. So you just see her march down the stairs, grab me by the back of the shirt and the back of the dress. I will
You
be.
tried to stall, didn't you?
I will be back down when I finish breakfast.
Grammy's casually returned to her breakfast.
With everybody looking at her.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you tried to stall, didn't you?
Just don't worry.
I'm not worrying. My point is, you tried to stall again. That's adorable.
But to be fair, if you're graceful about finishing the rest of your breakfast and letting her take her time with hers, I can give you the perfect excuse to go up and dance attendance on her. That hair needs brushing.
Yes, it does.
So, finish your breakfast, give her 10 minutes, and then go up and say, well, you need someone to brush your hair. It will be difficult for you to do so with all that wing in the way.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And then we really should get moving, because we should at least look around, see if we can... You said it was Bethan on the morning shift and Peric on the afternoon shift, but we should ask around at that sweet shop where Molly has her lunch and see what time she normally comes in. And then we have lunch with the governor. But we should give plenty of time to be rampaging around, as much as we can with the sleeping in. So, Polly, you've had all that you want. I do not eat as much as these fine adventurers, partially because I am very small and my stomach manages. Well, the potato pancakes won't keep. Don't think we should be feeding the cats anything with the onions in, which means the cheese and the bacon fried onion thing is out, but please finish the things that the cats can't eat, and any bacon that's left we'll feed to the cats. The cats are all perking up, like... And Cherie, being Cherie, actually made a little bowl of, like, half a potato pancake and bits of everything and put it basically next to Hazel's plate, so you've got Michigan sitting perfectly behaved, nerf, 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 nerf in the bowl. Delicious.
Extra stretches for that one.
Yeah, just doing the happy gremlin, yes.
Things that... Swear, it's like everybody else has managed to...
We're just showing you how it's done, dear.
I mean, fair. I'm just amused.
Well, I mean, who do you think helped sign the final license papers to let Church Griffins be on sale? I was only a junior secretary at the time, but still.
Thank you.
And, on that note, breakfast is finished. LSA is mollified enough by a bit of extra sleep and breakfast that she doesn't demur too much on the hairbrushing and the probably braiding, if for no other reason than it's just going to get all over everywhere if it isn't, because that is a lot of hair. And we are...
glad we helped.
Well, I mean, to be fair, given the state of LSA at the moment, it's more the doing it for her, because that kind of reach when you're that tired is a no-go. She was gonna just throw it in a ponytail and have done with it, but no, that would end in a mess.
It will insistently help.
If I didn't like the hair so much, I'd think maybe cutting it wouldn't be a bad idea. But
I like your hair.
thank you. I mean, I'd regret it like 2 days later. I am aware of this. And I regretted it when I cut it when I didn't want to. But then again, maybe it's different if you do want to, but I'm not really sure if I do. I mean, I suppose if push comes to shove, there's that hair stuff Hazel gave me. Either way.
Good for any dragonfire-related emergencies.
Or am I just wanting to try a thing out? I think that was what it was originally invented for, Ray. But yeah, it gets moderately gussied up because and of course that's probably something none of you have thought of. Although Barnabas might have noticed that Cherie is taking a little extra care with the outfit she brought with her. But as LSA says, we're going to lunch with the governor. Everybody knows we ought to take a little extra care, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh,
no,
right.
this is still upstairs with Remy, so it's because I'm sure Remy did not think of that.
Right, take extra care with the governor.
Well, we're having lunch with the governor. We should be a little spiffy, dressed wise.
I guess so.
You really didn't think I'm gonna talk to some people. Thank you. Excuse me, guys. You know we're having lunch with a public official, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that involves being slightly fancy with the clothes, just a little bit.
Right.
Cherie is looking at all of you like, I'm sorry, I thought you would all... Why did I think you all realized this?
I mean, I feel like Ava would have probably thought of it, but
To be fair, Ava's had a lot on lately.
true.
Brief bout of halfling swearing from me.
I've got fancy clothes and normal clothes, but not like anywhere in between.
Turns around to Barnabas. You will have to inform them how lucky they are you have me. Reaches into her bag of holding. Small bag for Clarity, small bag for Hazel, small bag for Rylan, small bag for Ava. Another bag. That one's for Remy. I'm sure Alice has this covered. Also, Taylor's and Amber cannot really do anything with her at the moment. I need to find that Taylor. I promised to bring some notes to some of ours so she can have the kind of quality that you all are getting. Yeah, what you're getting is something like your normal clothes, but a little fancier, a little bit extra, fancy trimming, etc. And just basically better made. Yes, someone go take that to Remy. Looking at Barnabas, you want to do that right away because she's doing that thing again, I'm sure of it.
Okay. You got it. Trump.
Yeah, well, while Alice and Remy are trying to put together something that's not wedding or club fancy and not what Remy normally wears, knock at door. Yup.
Hey, got a care package for Remy from Cherie for clothing
what?
for meeting the governor.
Oh.
We're sure she's not a divination wizard.
Yeah.
I'm not ruling it out.
Remy will begrudgingly get up. Thank you, Barnabas. Thank you, Cherie.
She hears, but she's not going to be as uncouth as to raise her voice that loud. If for no other reason, then it will probably startle the cats, and Remy's has, in fact, startled some of the cats.
Okay.
They're starting to get a little used to the chaos that happens when you guys are here, but Not entirely yet.
Cats.
Yes, and on that note, we will leave the Cupcake Coterie getting gussied up, and when we come back after break, we'll take a really quick tour around, because given all this yahooery, you're only going to have the time to work off breakfast before you are called into lunch, and you'll get to deal with the governor.
Mm-hmm.
Either
Yay!
And we're back after, as Smeagol tends to put it, yakety sax breakfast. And leaving the Riddler stump, Shri has seen to another night for you guys just in case, because as you're walking in the general direction of the shopping district, because you're aiming in the general direction of where was that sweet shop, that soda shop that we know Molly goes to. Says, all right, there's a few things as I recall we wanted to do here. Ava will need some time sometime between the lunch with Calatiel and the meeting with Professor August to go looking for a replacement for her weapon. We obviously have the lunch with Calatiel and the meeting with Professor August about the alchemist. We are going to talk to Peric about that necklace, but obviously we predominantly, if possible, want Heskan. I could not make an appointment with him because I don't have the same contacts among the places of worship here as I would in, for example, Ambia. So if we don't find Peric, because you said he works afternoons, so if we don't find him when we're finding Molly, which we're going to ask her, at least in part, about what she might know about the construction of that bomb, we may have to take a trip to the Shrine of Palor here and see if Heskan has a moment. If he doesn't, it's probably going to have to wait till morning. Late morning, because he will have sunrise devotions.
No, I need to speak to him. Either way. And he'll want to speak to me.
Yeah, and Alice says, oh, yeah, I probably have to be there for that.
You don't have to.
He's gonna want more than you can give him. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be done.
Mm-hmm.
But for starters, let's make sure that we've... Is there anything anyone else needs that can be picked up quickly between now and the lunch hour, while we're on our way to check the soda shop?
If we're
I
heading
did
through
want
the
to-
shopping. Sorry.
I did want to pick up one of those multi-tool things that they all have.
Ah, the every gadget. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we're headed through by any of the supermarkets, I did say.
Oh, Rylan, your concern from earlier is going to come true now. At least you've been inured to it early. You've been vaccinated. We will protect you from the
Wonderful.
worst of the enthusiasm.
Hmm.
I said the worst of the enthusiasm. I understand it spreads rather a lot. Yeah, on to trolley into shopping district, and yeah, one of the first things you see is even larger supermarket. This is more of a Walmart-y kind of thing. To be fair, I think it's only Hazel who's actually seen a Walmart-y type thing.
Oh boy.
Place is huge.
For Rylan and Barnabas, this is... I think I liked the other place better.
There,
Right.
what?
Okay. Yeah. So long as people keep reminding me to keep it short, we can keep this as short as possible.
Clarity's grabbing a
And-
cart and she's climbing into the cart. Push me, push me, push me!
You have a half orc, and the colors for this place are a bright fluorescent orange. So you've got an orc in a bright fluorescent shirt walking up and going,
Oh no.
Miss. Hello to you, Miss. You cannot sit
Hello.
in that, Miss.
Why not?
Points at the sign, which does say anyone over the age of 3 cannot ride in the carts and then only in the seat area. And he actually unfolds the bit, because you know the bit where you push out in a shopping cart and there's the... And as you're reading that, you do hear a very slight creak. They're not that strong, miss. Takes you by the shoulder. Lift.
Spoil sport.
She means well.
Means nothing. Miss, if you're going to sulk over a simple rule, you are going to wait outside. Out.
Can I at least, like, push it and then
Out.
stop? Fine.
Oh dear. Babe,
No,
anything specific you need?
Just get me an energy drink. I want to try it. If it's
You got
blue, even better.
I will find you the power of blue.
Thank you.
Sheree looks at Alice, say, how do you deal with this? Right at this precise moment, I don't. I deserve a vacation.
I don't know why anyone is surprised about this, considering I do have a Fae patron.
At that, the half-orc who was looming at you looms even harder. Out!
Outside the door! I can talk to them outside! And she stomps over to, like, a little bench and just plunks down.
Michigan kind of boings out of the griffin bag and perches by Clarity. Snug? Snug. Which is actually great, because it means you don't have to deal with Michigan in there.
Gotta grab all the food you can reach.
Yeah, you can almost hear the delicious from down an aisle as goes soaring past. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm very glad that I have to deal with that for the next
So yeah, that's
time
Clarity.
limit.
Clarity sort of sulking outside with at least a Michigan to snug, and the rest of you are effectively in Fantasy Walmart. Literally Fantasy Walmart. Yeah, there's even more of the weirder cereals. With, like, some of them are chocolate and some of them are pink and half of them have marshmallows and...
I'm actually moving like I have an objective. I am trying to find an energy drink labeled blue.
To be fair, the energy drinks are not labeled. The energy drinks are in these very strange cans that you don't need a can opener to open. You assume you pull that little tab thing.
Do they? Yeah, but do they have just a description of what the flavor is?
No, they don't seem to have a flavor. It's just energy drinks with... I mean, in all fairness, there is literally Red Bull, except the picture of it is not a bull, it's a winged minotaur. But they have the literal Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh, Lord.
And you see the look
Okay.
on Barnabas's face.
I'm just gonna forego the power of blue, get a batch of these, and get as much of the blue Gatorade as possible, and then just create the mix later.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
I've had
That
it.
sounds
It's not awful.
horrendous.
Yeah, you had it. You haven't had the egg wrap versions. Yeah, you're gathering up because they're ironically they're fairly close together. But as you're gathering up the blue Gatorade, you do note on one of them there's a label that says that this should not be combined with energy drinks.
They literally made these two as actual, like, potions. See, now I want to see what happens when they're combined, but I want to be, like, a good 30 feet away when it happens. Not risking it now, but I'm still getting both.
Sure is. You realize if it says not to mix them and the reaction is bad enough, they might not sell them to you together.
Fling swearing.
There's
Look, I'll just
there's a
ask, and
half
if not, I'll stick with the energy
there's a
drinks.
halfling family
Oh no.
with one of the little kids sitting in the little cart, and you're getting in halfling, mummy. What does that mean?
Oh,
And the mother is looking at you like,
like, very apologetic expression back. Is like, sorry.
at which point she comes up to you. You get to go and tell them what that actually means.
Yes, ma'am.
And the expression is, you best be very, very, very careful in your explanation of what that meant.
Yeah, I don't even know what or how to words it. I'm just going to try to be extremely careful.
I'm gonna have to hand of fate this one. I can't think of a skill for this.
Not even persuasion or deception or
Not-
performance.
Not quite, but you got lucky. You managed to come up with a reasonable explanation for most of it that doesn't involve traumatizing very small children, partly because you realize these kids are from Egref and they're going to know some stuff. And the rest of it is, this is the kind of thing you have to look up when you're older. Consider it a research project. The mother is vaguely mollified. You must watch your language. You are not the only people in the world, you know. Did you forget? Did you think you were the main characters? You're not the main character in my life, I don't care.
Understandable. Moment of frustration. Sorry.
Do not be sorry, be better. Stomp, 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 stomp.
Watching her go like that was the weirdest experience of my life. And I was in a Tiamat temple not like a day ago.
They're very outspoken here.
Every time I come back, I rediscover that.
At which point Alice says, Hazel, didn't you complain at one point about you running low on those toaster pastry things?
Yep, those are next. Thank you.
And as you're heading in the direction, anything to get her off that subject. So yeah, unfortunately Clarity's going to be sitting out there for a while as this bunch looks at the literal aisle of toaster pastries.
Oh boy.
Some sweet, some savory. Barnabas is probably looking at kale toaster pastries and going, what the fuck is wrong with this place?
Yep. Nope. I'm just going through at least one of each.
Indiscriminately, I take it?
Nominally, yes, because of the surprise me factor, and also because, screw it, somebody's gotta try the weird shit.
Yeah, so Barnabas is looking at Kale when Hazel grabs one of the boxes he's looking at out and sticks it in the cart, along with, like, turnip, beet. You see
I'm choosing.
you see the
I'm
cart.
choosing my piece.
It's literally full now of energy drink, blue stuff, and the rest is stack of toaster pastries. You can tell she's literally taken one of every single flavor.
There's a moment Barnabas sort of looks down at the cart, looks at Hazel, goes, I'm choosing my piece, and just walks away.
I'll show you the impulse aisle. Takes Barnabas by the hand. Yeah, there's a small aisle that's international foods, so to speak. Except this is more interprovincial foods. And there's a small shelf devoted to various bits from the people. There's like jars of frostberry preserves and little containers of. You recognize the term burn lichen. Alice adds it to a fair bit of her food.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a larger rack of ambier sorts of stuff, which is usually very well packaged pastries and chocolates and sweets and things. You notice that the fudge patch has a pre-packaged fudge brand that gets shipped over here.
All right.
Yours is going to be better, however. We send a lot of our produce, etc., around the country. It's just preservation spells leach out some of the goodness.
Well, that makes sense.
So your bunch is miles better than here. Although, now that we are separate from them, Yoink grabs a couple of the containers of burn lichen. She's probably running out by now.
Yeah.
Thinks about it, gives it to Barnabas. It'll come better coming from you.
Thank you.
And passes you guys by as Hazel is probably going through the breakfast cereals aisle and going, "We'll meet you at the cache."
What manner of like the stuff that I get last time? Because I'm just going to be sensible for everything else and just reobtain what I got previously.
You were particularly fond of the breakfast cereal that had little marshmallow symbols of the various gods. Kind of like Lucky Charms, but for the Elonian pantheon.
Yeah, just like one or two boxes of that at most.
Yeah, because to be fair, with all the toaster pastries, you're pretty much out of cart room at this point.
Yep. And from there, I'm just saying, okay, if anyone else has any preferences, choices, or things they want to get out of sheer curiosity.
I think I'm going to take my curiosity hunting when we've got less stuff going on. Also, to be fair, I'm not entirely sure I want to subject Ree to one of these.
Looking at everybody, Rylan included.
I think Rylan's
just been in notebook as much as possible.
I think Rylan wants out.
Right. Okay.
I'd rather focus my gold on replacing or repairing my weapons at the moment.
Ava, to be fair, we're pretty much made of money right now. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yes, that's true.
And yeah, for Hazel, that's like 5 gold a lot. Most of it
actually
toaster
sell
pastry.
me both of those questionable items together.
To be fair, no. They look at the number of blue and the number of energy drinks. And we're going to hand of fate this. Yeah, no, the hand of fate is not liking you. When they get through all the toaster pastries and find stacks of both. They look at you. They won't sell you either of them.
Oh boy.
Wait, whoa, sorry, I didn't catch that.
They will not sell you either of them. I am sorry, but when we get people trying to buy that many of those two with the obvious intent to combine, there are a few laws about this kind of thing, but that one is things can be made and they're not healthsome things. And the people who make them, we normally have to send them to jail, and it is not pleasant. So we cannot.
Entirely understandable. I'm happy to forego the blue.
No, I'm sorry, but you could get the blue somewhere else. We can't sell you these.
Damn it. Even if I forego the blue
Yes, because you
entirely,
because you get the blue you could get the blue elsewhere, and we would not know.
I have zero plans of combining them. I saw the label. I get it. I'm curious, but I get it.
I'm sorry, I do believe you, but if I sell you these, we can stock all of this the way we do, because it keeps track of what we are selling. And no, I'm sorry, I cannot do this. I would get in trouble. Sorry, the hand of fate was a 3. It's also kind of like that thing where there are some over-the-counter things, actually a lot of over-the-counter medications and things like ibuprofen that they won't sell you more than two at a time. Partially because they're worried you'll overdose, but also partially because you can use it as the base in some less healthsome drugs, and they can't be on the hook for that.
Okay, what about forgoing all but one package of the energy drink?
See, now you're pushing too hard. I can't do this.
I understand. I'm just asking for the sake of asking. I'll just leave all this here.
Okay. Look, if you want to try the energy drink, I would not recommend it. They taste horrible. They taste like flat ginger ale with slightly
That's not what I
chemically. But
I
if you want to, you will
yeah,
have to
someone
buy
I know
it
wants
from...
to try them for the caffeine content.
Yeah, better luck talking to people at the university if you want something with a lot of caffeine content that does not taste like flat ginger ale with extra chemicals.
So, sorry, DM, say that again. The first half of that I lost entirely.
You would have much better luck at the university if you want drinks with caffeine that do not taste like flat ginger ale with extra chemicals.
Thank you. Anyway, toaster pastry stuff. I can just where do you want me to put the rest of this?
The half orc from before actually comes up, grabs the cart, and starts pushing back because he's clearly gonna have to
Thank you.
It's his job, but he does not generally like being obliged to do that much of it. But you did not know, and it's better that than getting in trouble for selling you all of that. I am sorry. There are some rules, you know.
Yeah, that I understand.
But it is still 5 gold for all of the toaster pastries.
Happy to.
And yeah, everything is put into bags, which you're probably going to stick in your bag of holding anyway.
Just end up in the bag of holding. Just refill the toaster pastry stock for randomization purposes.
And yeah, you all come out, and unfortunately, poor Clarity's going to have another disappointment today. Her and grocery stores do not get along, apparently. It's still snugging Michigan, knowing Clarity.
I'm snugging Michigan and also like doing a little puppet show with one hand with one of my orca oven mitts.
You are occasionally getting peck. This is what is happening when you walk out. Is you've got Michigan sort of clinging to the oven mitt and peck, 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 peck. Not hard, but
So, one success. We refilled the toaster pastries.
That's a lot of toaster pastries.
Unfortunately,
Hazel
They-
got carried away and screwed it all up.
really?
Look, you came up with several bottles of two things the label said you are not allowed to combine. What did you think they were gonna say?
I was hoping they'd oblige me to sign a waiver.
No, I think the people who made them might make you sign a waiver if you went directly to the I'm sure he is manufacturer. Manufacturer. But they are liable for whatever you do with the shit you buy there because they're the ones that sold it to you.
Yeah. Did get a recommendation, though. If we want anything equivalent to caffeine wise, we can look around the university.
Thank you for trying, darling. And she gives her a kiss on the cheek. And
Well, it's
we
Michigan
don't want
is
to give
Michigan.
more money to these fascists anyway.
They're just doing their jobs.
Oh no! Gods forbid they have rules to keep people from hurting themselves.
I don't even know what that word means. I just glitched out when that was said.
When it's clear Hazel doesn't understand the word, Alice thinks back a minute, thinks back to various things that Hazel has said at least once, and then uses, in Hazel voice because it's the only way she knows how it sounds, the halfling word for fascist. That's what she said.
Oh. Is it weird that I never heard that in common?
We don't really have the concept, except apparently we do. I don't know where we got the concept, but we got the concept somewhere. Probably in a very old book.
Okay, yep. Into the bag of holding. Into the bag of holding with the sun.
Yeah. Well, while you're trying to stuff them in, Michigan has let go of the orca oven mitt and is just digging at the various boxes as they're going into the bag of holding. So you're gonna have to kind of keep Michigan from
Michigan. Unless you want to end up in there.
delicious. It's like because that's where all the treats go.
Let me finish, and I will see about some.
Still eyeing the bag. Delicious.
It's just
Alice grabs. Look, you. The delicious is in a place where it's safe for things that are not alive. If you go in there, you will not be alive. And then there will be no more delicious, ever. We still love you, we just want you to still be alive, because we like to give you the snugs you love so much. She turns Michigan around, and Michigan looking at Hazel. Snug?
give.
Snug.
Why am I the one providing therapy all of a sudden?
Because you are the snug giver. And I think Michigan now understands that the reason you are forbidding him the delicious bag is because he wants to still be snuggable for you.
That is exactly the reason.
You just have to explain that in simple words.
I'm bad at that. I'm very bad at that.
And that's why I'm here. Sheree murmurs at Barnabas. She really does this all the time?
Yeah. Yes, she does. You get used to it.
Yeah, no, give her presents. She deserves them.
Hmm.
It's like having to deal with the blueberry nitwits constantly. They're wonderful
I
people.
mean,
I love them very much, but especially you. But I believe the term I've heard is chuckle fucks.
Before Alice can entirely get away, just dragging her
I,
into the
I,
swamp for a few seconds.
You're snugging the winged. Okay, I can live with this.
and Barnabas
Just
murmurs
a couple
back.
seconds.
Sorry, and Barnabas murmurs back. Probably while that's happening.
I would really like to argue with you on that term, but I can't.
Anyhow, she's free now
Hmm.
because you still have the burn lichen she got you to get for her, if you recall.
Mhm. Also, Alice, found this.
Oh, cool. We're probably not going back to Amber anytime soon, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay. Picks up and shakes. I was running out. I know you guys don't like it, but I like it. I think I've probably been running out because I've been sharing it with the people who do, which I don't mind, but I'm glad to have more.
And I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just
No, I was talking to gestures to Ava and Rylan.
Oh.
The taste buds don't quite work.
Yeah, it's a bit strong for me.
It is amazing.
I guess it's too much to hope they have things like frost onions and ice peppers, but one day we'll be back into meal and point surrounding, and maybe. Anyway, we needed to check out the soda shop, see if we can get any clues on when Molly and etc. are there, and then we probably ought to get moving because it takes a remarkably long time to go through one of those things.
mm,
Yeah, the soda shop is at the moment quite quiet. The human at the counter is going, wait another hour, and then there will be kids upon kids. Kids will be for a few hours. Is there anybody in specific you're looking for?
You probably know her, Molly.
I don't usually get the names.
No.
All I say is, sort of off blonde hair, streaked in. Oh, the color change you want. The social butterfly. Well, more the center of anyone trying to figure out why her hair does what it does. Yeah, that'd be her. She'll be in an hour and a half or so, probably. We'll linger as long as she can get away with it, mostly because there will be people asking about her various projects and her hair, and she won't be able to reach the door until most of them are gone to classes. And if you guys wanted Peric, half elf, little older than Molly, streaked hair, but also more solidly, his don't change color, they're just green. That's mostly Barnabas, Hazel, and Remy, who've actually met Peric.
You said half elf, sorry?
Yeah. Half elf, about 17-ish, darker brown hair, streaked with green.
Half elf, 17-ish. Green streaks?
There's a few that kind of fit that. Is that one that would be talking mostly about unfortunate things? I personally think unfortunate things to do with food, or one who is usually somewhere in the middle of a treatise on the various deities, Pelor in particular.
That one.
He is usually in. He'll be in about an hour. He'll be here for about an hour. And then he has to go to work. I think. Yes, I think this is his day where he's at the temple, from what I understand.
So saying,
Yeah, because he works at selling the spell components. That's how you met him.
yeah, yeah, that seems to be right in on that one.
And I'll say, so we're gonna have better luck at catching Molly here. And I guess we see Peric on our way to see if we can make an appointment with Heskan.
Yeah. Unless we split the difference and both and talk to both at once, but I don't see how that's gonna.
Well, in all fairness, I think maybe fewer people talking to Heskan about what went down would be nice, because that's going to be a hard conversation. And I kind of have to be there. Ree kind of has to be there. We could probably do with one other person, but that's probably a thing we can aim for when Ava's looking for a replacement weapon.
Mm.
But we'll
Agreed then.
we'll think about that on our way to and in our lunch, because I guess that was an awfully long time in that grocery store. Then again, if you're picking up one of every toaster pastry on the shelf,
Gonna take a while.
yeah. I mean, it was an adventure, but at least we managed to spare Rylan any flavored syrup incidents. You okay? You out of the notebook now?
I will be okay eventually, maybe at some point.
We just kind of need okay because we're gonna go talk to the governor now. You good?
Okay, that I can do.
Deep breath.
And then instead of an exhale, it's one of those, like, clearly stifling a scream. Okay.
I usually walk through a few more of those with Hazel, but she doesn't do the scream thing, so let's see which one works better.
It's just looking.
We're in the city of experimentation. Go with it.
Sure.
And yeah, onward to the government building. It probably takes a little bit of occasional trolley things, and Rylan gets to see yet more of Egref with the windows with the glowy clothes, and Cherie going, "Oh, that must be that tailor that made your new things, Alice. I was meaning to get notes from some of them." Yeah, good luck. They got like half a dozen halflings from various shops in there trying to figure out how best to handle wings plus brazier, I can imagine. But Anbir wants the notes. Well, Anbir had better be prepared to pay dearly for them. I'm sure they'll manage, believe me. Anbir is not a poor nation. Or province, for that matter. And then, yeah, government building. Actually, you pass the Conundrum Pavilion first and point out to Rylan, and that is where we got married. Currently, what you're seeing is, it's a big open courtyard with the occasional stained glass-ish kind of gazebo, and some people are playing chess. Some people off to one side are actually on a bit, probably one of the quadrants that's made up like a living chessboard. And there's a bunch of people doing a combination of living chess and SCA reenactment.
Okay, now I'm wondering if there's any people from the Rakdos group over there
They don't turn
as
up
part
at,
of the reenactment.
No, they don't turn up at the Conundrum Pavilion. There are rules about them. They have their
They
spot.
stay
They
sequestered
stay
in their
there.
own theatrical nonsense.
Yes. These are just people with apparently very realistic looking swords, but the way they squish a bit when they hit somebody. It's like they're made of foam. Yeah, they're LARPing.
That looks fun.
Of course, Barnabas doesn't have a good enough view of the board to see what the fuck they're actually doing. You okay, Barnabas?
Again, I'm choosing my piece.
I'm sure he is. Well, if you ever do,
Much like home.
if you ever do want a game of chess, that riddles, puzzles, etc., that's a public spot to just go and find somewhere to do something that involves what I think they call here edutainment.
Oh, okay.
They're very big on edutainment here.
Makes sense.
You probably won't find anyone who would necessarily beat your father, however. We're few and far between. And yeah, then past that, down a moderately long road, and there's the government building. Get out, walk up to the doors, and Cherie gives a little nod, and the Cupcake Coterie from. I mean, let's face it, a halfling and a gnome as guards are a little laughable. But they're there, and they clearly know how to use the weapons they're wearing, so hey. You are expected. Please proceed. The butler will be showing you to the room where you will be having your meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The butler is human and fairly young. This is probably another one of the grant recipients. Accent is actually Belarus. If you'd like to come with me. And unlike the last lunch you had here, which was in the kitchen and kind of comfortable and mostly looking at the unfortunate lack of functionality of the miraculous transmutation engine, this is okay. On one level, it's a fancy ass dining room with one of the big long dining tables. It's kind of scuppered by the fact that there's. You guys have never seen balloons or helium before. So why there are these not quite globe things hovering near the ceiling, pretty much covering the ceiling, in point of fact. And there's more tied to various chairs. And it's basically, instead of like stained glass, you have balloons and little tiny lights. Basically, they've got fairy lights like you have on your Christmas tree, just strung around the place more or less randomly. It's the fanciest dining room, kind of decorated for a kid's party, except this seems to be how it always is.
I like this.
If I remember,
Huh.
I mean, remember, Calatiel is Calatiel.
I suppose so.
And Alice says, what I want to know is why there are so many places set at this table. Because every seat on that very long dining room is full. And there are little place cards with your names on them. And they're not entirely together.
What names are on the other place cards then?
You don't recognize a damn one of them.
That's a little
Hold on.
more than I had
This
in
is a
mind.
challenge. This is a challenge.
What do you mean?
Calatiel has got to be testing us in some way. This is something. Let's just go with it.
Thing
Rylan,
is
seriously,
that-
you'll get it.
Why?
Thing is that there's the ones whose names are, there's just the single name, and the ones you don't recognize. The ones dotted around the rest of the table you would assume are yours. But each one of those is listed with all of your names, except for Cherie, who's sitting at Calatiel's right talon, with Barnabas sitting like 4 seats down that way, or possibly anyway, because that's where the next. Because the rest of them are listed of all of you, except for the one at the far end of the table. Obviously, Calatiel has the head. The other end of the table is the one specifically responsible for outing the Five Claws of Bahamut. Alisei looks at that and goes, "Yeah, I'm taking this one, guys. The end of the day, it's down to me. I was the one who had the original plan."
This is yikes.
But you're right, probably. It's probably a challenge. And let's see what happens when I sit down. Pulls out the chair. Looks at it because it does actually have a back. Sits. When she does, the back becomes narrower so that it still gives back support but gives space for her wings. Okay. And the other name tags, they all have an individual name on them. Remy is now currently sitting middle of the table, sort of effectively as far away from both head and foot of the table as you can get. And Barnabas is, 4 seats away. You guys are basically separated among what you can presume is the great and the good of Egref. And points surrounding. I think you guys kind of have to sit down.
Yes, so.
Yeah, just going with it.
Grab the mice.
Yeah, and when you get to your very individual seats, from a different door, other folks, clearly the rest of these, start filing in. Most of them are in the halfling gnome kind of space, few dwarves, like one human, rather elderly human, and that one seems to be currently running the academy. It gives Hazel a bit of a nod as she sits down. But yeah, there's various people who smell like alchemy. There's some that apparently manufacture something sugar smelling. Somebody who heads the druids. Very unusual looking gnome with the biggest top hat you have ever seen, with various bits of clockwork, etc. on them, representing Izat Lane as a whole. Yeah, the hat
Symbol of office? What?
the hat is larger than the gnome under it.
There's a brief moment where I'm like staring baffled, then like, oh, that's not polite.
And at the end of it, Calatiel comes in, tilted a little more on the female end this time. I am going by she at the moment, if none of you would mind. Sits and lunch is fancy. You're getting looked at a lot by the great and the good of Egref. How much are you able/willing to attempt to eat? It's good enough. It's Okay, it's a little bizarre. You're not sure exactly what meat is in the meatloaf, but it's probably nothing too outre. It's just
Probably-
less fancy than you'd expect from the surroundings.
I mean,
Probably have something polite. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's Barnabas, I know.
Incite the amount of manners
it's
is
Barnabas. He's
required
gonna,
right now.
yeah, he's gonna eat like normal.
If you like. Did anybody else wants to insight investigate?
Oh,
Let's see if I remember how to.
that was a 24. Dear God.
Yep,
Um,
there she go.
Do I minus anything from my current sheet
Oh,
for investigation?
we haven't even dealt with that yet. I'm sorry. It's been a
Yeah,
mess.
no, you've been busy. Yeah.
The it wouldn't be investigation exactly, I don't think, because you're not poking at
Okay.
anything.
So insight?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter. I know nothing.
To be fair, because Clarity's charisma is still relatively high, she's probably having a conversation with. I'm gonna say she's sitting next to Mr. Top Hat from Is At Lane, and you're not entirely sure you're on the same page on this conversation, or indeed on the same plane of existence all the time. But it's fascinating to talk to, and if it was more, if you could get away with it, you'd be taking notes.
I mean, she's probably making mental notes for after.
Trying to as much as she can.
Dear God, you got the top hat guy. You win.
Yeah.
Remy honestly can't tell. Marion isn't 100% sure, but it's an occasion, and she should be willing to treat it as an occasion. Rylan, it's clearly an occasion, but I don't really know how to eat at an occasion. None of these, as I don't know, chuckle fucks, have actually taught me fancy, so I'm just gonna eat. Except maybe not the meatloaf, because I don't even know what meat that is, and I'm not in the mood. You do get Calatiel going. I am sorry, is it not for the meats?
I don't really do meats overall. I'm sorry. I should have maybe.
Oh, no, that is okay. If you will excuse me. Pulls out. Instead of the little bell that you jingle for servants, it's actually a tiny gong. Tap, and it sounds like full. Because it shakes the table. Boom! Servant, wearing earmuffs, comes in. If you could fetch a couple of slices of the nut loaf for our friend here. Bows. Noom comes back and puts a couple of, looks different, loaf of some description. And there is the
nut.
vegetable gravy. Nut loaf, yes.
I heard not loaf, and I was like, "Excuse me."
Oh, either way.
Honestly,
This is Calatiel. That would not surprise me.
It's the Agraffian accent. It makes all sorts of fun like this. It is a not loaf of nut loaf. Is the explanation before the servant goes. Near.
Thank you.
Yeah, just following through on basic manners. This sort of sits an occasion. So yeah, just gonna keep whatever polite conversation happens, sticking to that, rolling with it.
Trying to remind myself of how things were when we had dinners at the Manor house.
There are fewer utensils. You're probably fine. Hazel does wind up sitting next to the to the druid individual who says that Marigold sends her regards, and you probably wind up talking a bit about farming because given what Hazel pulled out of the insight bag, it's the only way to keep her from vibrating.
Yeah, just trying to focus on conversation and manners.
Yeah, well, you have a lot to talk about. You've been learning new farming techniques from the Amberians to send home, so that's always fun to share. And those of you who are not interested in conversation do not have conversation, and those of you who are interested in conversation have conversation. And when lunch is eaten as much as lunch can be eaten, interrupting your conversations because Cal didn't give a shit. Tap bong! Okay, before we bring out the desserts, here is for why we are here. To begin with, we have among us all of the great and the good of Agraf. Now, I believe that some of you, or others of you, various things, monies, favors, whatever it was you're betting, I believe it is now time, as we are all here, to make those payments to one another, because the bet is now settled, thanks to them. And specifically, her. Yeah, there's some pleased and some grudging looks as pouches of gold, various bits of paper, and minor conversations about when certain favors will be performed around the table. I should explain. For some time now, there have been wagers about what it is that I am. Because nobody believed I was strictly human. And some believed I was Archfey, and some believed I was very powerful elven wizard, and all sorts of things, but nobody ever believed I was human. And there are a few people here who managed to guess dragon. And none of them ever found enough proof. And when dessert is finished, we will deal with you. The ones who lost bets are kind of looking a little smug about that. The ones who won bets are kind of sorry, but also still yay. Dessert comes, and it is rainbow jello with fruit stuck in it. It's the "this dessert's gayer than I am" thing. By this time, I think it's only Rylan who's never had a dessert that wiggles. And you're not sure how they got colors in layers. It's like you go to put your spoon in it, and for a minute there's resistance and wiggle.
He just keeps trying to figure out if there is a spot where it will not keep moving.
Not really, but you get you get a halfling woman next to you going, you just have to exert enough pressure. Like this, and demonstrates with her own. Even pressure. There you go.
Why does it move?
It's gelatin.
Finally, just trying it,
It,
deciding not to ask other questions.
yeah, it's layers of different fruit flavored jellos. So given you're at the top layers, you probably got strawberry and orange.
Just see the layer of blue, and I'm having flashbacks to this morning.
No, to be fair, there is not a layer of blue. There is red, there is orange, there is yellow, there is green.
Okay.
Calatiel has been kind to some of you. I would have gone for something a little more adventurous, abomination-ish, but I did not think some of you could take that a second time. Anyway, Mister, I ate the whole thing. Looking at Barnabas.
Thank you.
And dessert finishes, and the great and the good leave the room, and those many people who have lost bets are still looking back over their shoulders, looking kind of smug, and a few are just plain curious as to what are they going to do. And Calatiel gets up, walks around the incredibly long-ass table to the other end where Alice is. And why are you saying that you are the one responsible for this? Well, initially it was my plan. Any of the rest of it could be explained away, but I made the initial plan to go in there in the first place. It was them trying to get me out that caused that duel, which is why things came out the way they did. I didn't have enough information about how they would work the legal system to their advantage. Had I had that, I might have made a different plan, but I didn't. So, I got impatient. I thought this was the best way. To be fair, it probably still was. But it doesn't change the fact that that kind of got you guys outed. That and Governor Zet's willingness to put the safety of his people ahead of your secret. And I can't take responsibility for that, but I'm sure whatever conversation you guys want to have about his decision there is between you all. Looks across the table at the sparsely spread out rest of you. Does anyone else have anything to add about this?
Unfortunately, no. Halor said to follow through with this jump. I say how high.
Like Alice said, we didn't know how bad it was until we got in there, and things escalated beyond what we anticipated.
Now, I would also like to say we're sorry for spoiling it.
Glances at Remy.
Remy looks him in the eye.
She's currently going by her.
Looks her in the eye.
This again.
It was long overdue.
Us being known as dragons was long overdue?
Yes.
And you decide this how?
Because the situation with the Hasimar protracted so long because... Oh god, what was his name? Because Governor Zet was obliged to protect the secret And because of the anti-magic field, he couldn't go into the district. He couldn't see how bad things had become, and he couldn't intervene directly. And given what Tiamat has been doing, how she's been acting, even if there was supposed to be a truce agreement, whatever you would call it, she would have used the secret against you sooner or later.
So you're saying that this is okay because my sibling chose to intervene too late and only at the time when he would have to reveal himself. This is what you're telling me. Because I have never had an issue in my city or my province where things have been so bad that I would have needed to reveal my secret. I mean, it is a problem with Bahir that is of a very insular nature.
He is one of the people responsible for how bad things got there.
Cherie, part of us is probably watching Cherie somewhat, sees her close her eyes like, oh god.
I can I insight
Yeah,
check?
no, yeah. To be fair, given your previous thing, the thing I was mentioning was supposed to be a good thing. It's starting to get tilted towards you're throwing this back on us, really.
Just gonna try and catch Remy's eye. Like catch Remy's eye contact.
I'm gonna hand of fate this. No, she's looking Calatel dead in the eyes. She's not paying any attention to you. You're probably situated a bit wrong for it as well.
Remy, stop pulling at me!
Mm.
You've done this! Stop pulling at me!
Yeah, I did not hear half of that.
Stop pulling a me. That is the second time you've done that. Stop pulling a me. This Hazel, from what I've seen, from what Smeagol was doing, literally slams fists on table, uses it to push herself upright, and starts yelling this at Remy.
She just abject panic on my face.
Remy will not say anything further.
You see, I appreciate your statement. What my brother does is not something I can actually affect. So telling all this to me makes me feel like you are putting blame on me for something I was not anywhere near. Thank you very much for this. I mean, I don't know what I would have done if anybody had actually found the proof that I was as I am. That wouldn't... I don't stop them trying, however. So that's not on me. If somebody had figured it out, and I've shown a few people over the years, they have just been very circumspect because they know I have my reasons. It is not my fault that my brother wants to live in his little cave. Stop treating us all like we want to live in our little caves or yell at people the way my sister does. This is not fair. What happened to your God of justice? Sure, he is just... If it makes any difference to you, Governors, I've spoken to Governor Zet, and he's going to start putting more responsibility on me anyway. So anything that might be outstanding or needing to be dealt with in a more timely manner than Governor Zet's species or subspecies tendencies towards insular behavior allows, that will come to me in future. This is a conversation that Paladin Crestwind needs to have with Governor Zet, if she's going to have it with anyone at all. Looks at Remy. I think with all the yelling, you're probably not going to want to say anything else, which is fair. I understand you being protective and looking at the fairness of the thing, but I was not involved in the whole of the thing, you see. I was collateral damage from the thing. And I was never really for the hiding in the first place. You see, I brought you here to a celebratory meal for you to see that if I minded, don't you think I would have shut all that speculation about my identity up? I came here to be thanking you. And I get this.
Well, your siblings have not been equally thankful, so we haven't been sure. I haven't been sure what to expect.
You all see the look on Calatell's face. Just,
Remy, please stop talking.
is her nature. She wants to see the justice done and the right being happening. So she gets a little overzealous and precipitate, from Alice. That's the word, thank you. Precipitate about dealing with the matter, and I imagine if you heard from my sister Kreia anyway, and my brother Bahir, although I understand that Bahir was not that bad to you, he was just a little annoyed that his insularity had to be ripped away in such a fashion. But still. But, you know, we could have... You know that defending others does not always mean attacking the thing you think is going to hurt them.
It wasn't my intention to hurt you or anyone.
And yet you throw blame on me for what somebody else did. Okay. Your logic, it is very interesting. I think we would have an entire bit of study about this at the academy. Anyway, I am not going to take this as, which, to be fair, some of my siblings would perceive as a slight, as a reason not to be doing what I am doing. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish what I meant to do in somewhat of a less cheerful fashion than I intended, and then I'm going to send you away. I'm probably going to be going back to they after that because I feel a bit more they-ish at that point. In any case, Alice. Hi. Pulls out a fairly ornate-looking key from one pocket, and from the other pocket, a piece of chalk. These two do actually go together, for reasons. You hold on to this, you keep it in pocket or whatever, but somewhere actually not in a bag of holding for a while. And then you use this or whatever chalk. I just figured you might not have any, so I would bring some with you. And on whatever surface you want to, you draw a door. And there will be a door to use that key from. You'll see what it is. There will be care notes. I think the person that I got left that from would have left care notes. She was like that. But you're going to have to hold on to it for at least 15 minutes before you can actually attempt to use it, because it needs to get to know you and your peoples, probably. Probably your peoples. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll thank you more when we know what it is, and I imagine that it's imagining the surprise on our faces that's going to cheer you up the most, so I'll underplay it so you can imagine how, oh my god, we're going to feel when we actually open the door. You see, you get it. I like you. Okay. I was going to make this a triumphant goodbye, but it's kind of scuppered right now. So, if unless anybody has anything else to say, please to shoo.
Give her the present. Who has it?
Is for her.
No, I'm talking to
Oh,
them all. Give her the
Right.
present.
I'm gonna say Hazel has it because it was she was the one who was picking up most of the habanero nuts.
There's there's candied bacon and all sorts of goodies.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it
As-
out and troop all the way over.
Just feels a bit late as an apology, but we're sorry, and we're sorry for ruining your betting pool. Because I know you were having fun with that.
Oh, but it was even more fun to see their reaction when they figured out who was right. That was why there was going to be the celebratory yay! You made them figure it out party. Thank you. By the way,
Okay. Right.
it was more just the you brought it on yourselves kind of speech that made the problems. But I think it's just her way. I understand these. Still, thank you. I will have these and bye.
Bye. Thank you
Goodbye.
for lunch.
Okay.
Very just like ashen faced, getting out of the way.
And yeah, exit stage. Well, you yeah, you probably will have time to catch Molly at that point because that didn't last quite as long as it might have done under other circumstances. But we'll talk about that next session. That didn't go quite in the direction I meant it to at all. But I mean, it's fair enough. Either way, we'll meet again in 2 weeks' time and actually get some information about new weapon, found trinket, awkward bomb, giggling lunatic, information. And congratulations, for better or for worse, you finished the apology tour.
Yay!
See you guys.